Redline Logbook here for Danmachi's Development Abilities Part 2. And we're going to start off with a pretty special development ability that I would like to have if I was in Danmachi's universe, and that is Mystery. Mystery allows you to create magic items, and I'm not talking about the basic magic items that are powered by magic stones that you see everywhere. No, I'm talking about magic items so powerful they basically mimic magic spells in Danmachi. For example, Asfi's Helm of Hades, which allows her to turn invisible, or Fel's Cloak that allows him to turn invisible. Another good example of this is prosthetic limbs. The most advanced prosthetic limb in our world basically moves in a sense because it's somewhat connected to your nervous system. In Danmachi, it basically is a part of you if it is crafted by our mid. Naza's prosthetic arm, for example, it is basically an arm for her. It works and operates as an arm should. Her fingers are as dexterous as a normal hand would be. She's able to do tiny little tasks, which is important for her because she, of course, creates potions for a living, so she has to be able to work with ingredients. And in combat, it allows her to use her full strength as a level 2 or now a level 3. It also allows you to craft not just magic items, but grimoires, which allow you to pass on magic to other people. So if you learn Mystery, you literally can just create spells in a grimoire and then just give them out to people. In fact, some grimoires are even designed to give people more spell slots. So you can actually not just give someone magic, you can also increase the number of spells they can use. Of course, the max is always 3, but still, this is the power of Mystery. It's magic at the tip of your hands. This is also why only 4 people in all of Auroreo, and probably even the world, have been able to manifest this development ability. Asfi, the most famous magic item creator in the world, Barak, who used his development ability to craft cursed swords and items, Armid, the Silver Saint, the greatest healer in all of Auroreo, who basically can bring you back from the brink of death no matter how horrific your wounds are. And finally, Fels, a man who pushed the Mystery development ability to its absolute peak, which means it became a level S development ability, and he was able to craft the Philosopher's Stone, which gave immortality to anyone who used it. Unfortunately, Fels's god destroyed it. And the way you end up developing this development ability is basically you have to craft magic items constantly. Basically the low tier ones that anyone can make if they, took the time and had the ingredients to do so. You basically have to spend most of your life working on that. And even then, you still gotta be very lucky because Mystery is an ultra rare skill. The next development ability is Hunter. This skill is classified as rare. Not as rare as Mystery, which is like ultra rare, but still an ability that not many adventurers have. Usually, if they do have it, they're a top tier adventurer like Eyes, Ryu, Otter, etc. The reason why this ability is so rare is because A, you can only attain it at level 2, so if you don't take it at level 2, you can never have it, which is why Bell can never have the Hunter ability, because even though it was offered to him, he chose Luck instead, which was a much better choice. And 2, the only way you can even acquire this ability is if at level 1 you killed a massive number of monsters in a short period of time. Basically, this skill develops because you're a dungeon junkie, just going in, killing whatever you can. Usually going in solo would probably be the best option for you. Now, what Hunter does is that it increases all of your stats when you're facing a monster that you've already fought against. And the increase isn't insignificant, especially since development abilities do grow with the user, starting at I and being able to grow it all the way up to S like any other ability. And like I said before, this skill is prized by pretty much dungeon junkies, because you have to always start from level 1 to go deeper down into the dungeon, so you'll always face monsters that you've already fought before. So with this, you'll be able to just boost your strength and be able to cut down everything in front of you until you can get to a new floor. And yes, that also applies to floor bosses. Next development ability is the one that Bell picked over Hunter, and that is Luck. This development ability is beyond ultra rare because only one person has ever gotten it and probably will ever get it, and that is Bell Cornell, the main character. How you get Luck is very unclear because what Bell was doing was beyond ridiculous, because he had a skill, Eris Freeze, that was heavily accelerating his growth that allowed him to do the crazy stuff that he did, which in turn caused him to use up so much luck, including fighting a Minotaur at level 1. So I can't really explain how Bell developed this ability, other than that you have to have Leia's Freeze first as a skill, which then allows you to do stupid stuff to risk your life to the point where you nearly die constantly. That's the best I can do. As for what this ability does, it basically a low-level form of divine protection is the main function. And what is divine protection? Well, basically, Deus Ex Machina. That's what it is. Bell was granted Deus Ex Machina as a development ability. A good example of Deus Ex Machina that I'm talking about would be when Bell had his neck broken by the Juggernaut. Now, that doesn't sound like a lucky moment, but it was because he was wearing the Black Goliath scarf around his neck, and so he wasn't decapitated when it hit the scarf. It just broke his neck. If the Juggernaut went for his lower body, Bell would have been cut in half like Jura. He'd be dead instantly. But Bell got lucky because it went for his neck. Went for the one area with a piece of defense so strong the Juggernaut couldn't break it. Of course, Divine Protection is at the most extreme of what luck can do. It has more minor effects. For example, whenever the Hestia Familia takes on a quest, anytime Bell takes part in said quest, they always find what they're looking for way faster than if everyone else is looking and Bell's just sitting back. An example of this is when the Hestia Familia were hired to find a specific material in the dungeon, and so Lily's mining the walls. Bell and Welf are adventurers, so they're just sitting back while the supporter does the digging, and they just kill off monsters that show up. But eventually, Bell's like, you know what, I'll help out. Grabs a pickaxe, hits the wall once, and then there it is, what they were looking for. Another example of just luck happening is when his entire party are killing monsters. When Bell kills a monster, that monster is more likely to drop a drop item, so a piece of the monster that can be sold for more money. And my personal favorite, when Bell went to the casino, he met up with Ryu and Seer who were there. He started gambling at the roulette table, and he won at roulette 6 times in a row, turning a measly few Valis into a giant stack of chips, which were then taken by Ryu and Seer. But still, he won all that money. Unfortunately, there's apparently a limit to how much you're able to stretch out luck, because after that, he didn't seem to win at the casino anymore. Of course, that was back when his development ability was still I. It's now currently F, so it would not surprise me if his luck goes even further than it already has. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to stop with that, so if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you enjoy more Danmachi and other many things. Thank you, and have a great day.